Hello there, I'm Ismail from Pearl Lemon, and today we are going to be talking about what football clubs and politicians can teach you about topical authority. When people hear topical authority, they usually think blog posts, internal linking, and keyword clusters. But I think topical authority is actually a human psychology concept before it's an SEO concept, because the same principles that make people associate a football club with success or a certain style of play, or associate a politician with a specific issue, are the same principles that make Google associate a website with expertise. Topical authority is really just repeated association. The more often people hear your name connected to a subject, the stronger that association becomes. You hear Manchester City and you think dominance. You hear Barcelona and you think possession football. This is for football fans. So for people that are into NFL, you think Bill Belichick, you think rings, you think Michael Jordan, you think greatest of all time. So you hear LeBron James, you think king. In politics, certain names become permanently attached to specific issues because they repeat those ideas constantly. Google works similarly. If your website repeatedly and credibly talks about a topic, eventually Google starts associating your brand with that subject. One of the most powerful forces online is repetition. Not necessarily quality first, repetition first. If somebody sees your videos, your articles, your LinkedIn posts, your tweets, your name in search results over and over again around the same topic, you start feeling authoritative. That's why random websites continue to struggle to rank in competitive spaces. Google is trying to figure out, does the internet consistently associate this brand with this topic? Now, football clubs are obsessed with narrative control. A club like Arsenal FC wants to be associated with certain ideas. A club like Liverpool FC wants to project a certain identity. The New England Patriots have an identity. The Chicago Bulls also have an identity. So do the Golden State Warriors. Even when performances fluctuate, the messaging stays constant. And this is exactly what strong brands do in SEO. Weak websites talk about everything. Strong websites repeatedly reinforce the same core themes until they own that association. A lot of websites accidentally destroy their authority by becoming random. They start with a niche, then chase traffic everywhere. One day they're talking about SEO, the next day it's crypto, then celebrity drama, then AI news. Humans get confused, and honestly, Google probably does too. Authority gets stronger through focus. Another thing people underestimate is community reinforcement. Football clubs become massive because fans constantly talk about them. Politicians grow influence because supporters repeat their messaging everywhere. In SEO, authority spreads socially. When people mention your brand, search your name, reference your content, and share your insights, it strengthens your association to that topic. Authority isn't built alone. A huge part of authority is omnipresence. The strongest brands feel unavoidable. You search something, they appear. You open LinkedIn, they appear. You watch YouTube, they appear again. That repeated exposure creates psychological trust, and eventually people stop asking who are these guys and start assuming these guys must know what they're talking about. This is why smaller websites sometimes outrank massive companies. Because authority is not just about size, it's about clarity. A small website that consistently talks deeply about one topic can build stronger topical authority than a giant site publishing random content for clicks. Now, the real SEO lesson in here is that Google is moving beyond matching keywords. It's trying to understand reputation, association, and trust, which means SEO is slowly becoming closer to brand building. And honestly, that is much harder to fake. Topical authority is not built from one article. It's built from repetition, consistency, focus, recognition, and community reinforcement. The websites that win long-term are usually the ones that become mentally associated with a topic. Just like football clubs and also just like political figures, the association becomes the moat. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this content to be useful, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.